Hi, I'm Barker-Stargazer. Welcome to my crafting mainly crochet YouTube channel. And I have the sad duty of informing you all that I, along with a lot of you out there, suffer from migraines. Now, I'm not a bad sufferer. I have maybe at the most 2 or 3 a month. And migraines affect everyone differently. This is just going to be a video about how I go through my migraines and how I incorporate crafting into that. For me, when a migraine hits, it's best that I just go to bed, cold compress on the forehead, take what pills I can, and just try and sleep through the worst of it. It tends to be my go-to for any migraine, just try and sleep through the worst of it. Now, this video is actually going to go over a few migraines. So I'll be describing each one and then the crafting that I am able to do when I'm in the migraines. So this first migraine hit me just after the kids had gone to school, thankfully. So I went straight back to bed. I think I slept for about 3 hours. I do try and keep track of when a migraine starts for me and when like the main part of it ends, because I actually have trouble with my memory when I'm in a migraine as well. So I like to know the times. So I spent the rest of the day really groggy, dizzy. Sometimes I will fall into vertigo as well, and just really unable to concentrate. And it's that bit that bugs me the most. It's the aftermath of the migraine where I can't really do anything, but with the exception of still having a foggy head and usually my right eye twitching like crazy, the rest of me is fine. And this does just feel like wasted time, because sometimes the aftermath of a migraine, for me, it can be an additional day, a full day. The next day can be down as well. And I did have a really rough one years back where I suffered with the aftermath for about a week and a half. So I do love crafting. It really is what I do with any of my spare time, and not being able to do the crafting that I normally do for this channel, aka the testing free patterns, figuring out where they're failing, if they're failing, the creating my own patterns from Crochet AI videos, it just simply doesn't work. I can't do it. I can't physically figure these things out. But what I can do when I'm in a migraine is do automatic tasks. Fortunately for me, following a pre-written pattern, which I know is going to be good, is something I can do. So what I have decided to do from now on is use these migraine dead periods to focus on patterns that I have bought in the past and I haven't done. And this gives me the opportunity to do patterns I wouldn't normally do, like clothing patterns. I have absolutely loads of them from magazines that I used to buy. I used to be a big one buying Inside a Crochet or Simply Crochet. And I haven't used any of them. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the dead time of the migraines to review these patterns and make myself some lovely items just for me. So at the start of filming this video, I was 1 day post migraine and still finding things pretty hard. So still having a very foggy head and still finding it quite hard to creatively concentrate on things. So I went through my patterns. Well, actually I didn't. I simply picked out the first thing I could lay my hands on and flipped to the first pattern that looked good. And it happened to be this pattern, Desert Plains Top, by the Stylecraft design team. I am using a 4mm hook, acrylic yarn, and I will be changing the colour of my yarn every 6 rows Apart from that, I'm just going to follow this pattern as is. This pattern basically is working on UK double crochets and UK trebles to create a V pattern every, how many was it? Every 3 rows. So, end of the first day working on this project, I can feel my migraine lifting. So I'm going to pack this all away now. So I've actually chosen to put it all on my mannequin here. I have to admit, it is quite an odd feeling to know that this project isn't going to be re-picked up until the next time I fall into a migraine. Right, it's been 2 weeks since my last migraine and I hit another one. This one again has left me dizzy, so I did spend most of the day in bed. And once I did actually get to my studio, it still took me a good hour before I actually picked up the crochet project and started to work on it. But I was able to finish the body of the top anyway. So that's at least one thing I've managed to get done today. Also, it isn't a mistake that I've done a row of blue, then grey, and then gone back to blue. What I want to do is have the blue in the middle and then transition back through the lower colours. So the next coloured row I do will be in the pink. The body has ended up slightly longer than the pattern required because the pattern does state that you need to finish on a certain row of your repeating pattern. It hasn't added that much length, a couple of centimetres, but it's just something I wanted to point out. So, I only made it 3 days before the next migraine, or should I say 2, as the first one, which hit overnight, subsided, another reared its rainbow triangle flashing light. Oh, my God, this was a horrible one. It really did take me all day to do this one shoulder strap, and it's not done. Now, obviously, I haven't wrote any of what I'm saying now down on the day of the migraine because I really can't write in a migraine. At the most, I leave myself voice notes. I really did find it hard to keep track of my 6 rows per colour that I was doing as well yesterday. Something to consider when setting up the next migraine project, because I do think going forward it would be best to have a project set up ready to go. Sorry everyone, it appears I didn't press record on any of the frill footage. This was created with a row of double crochets with chain gaps along the outer edge of the shoulder straps, followed by a pattern of DCs, half trebles and trebles to make this lovely scalloped edge. Remember, I work in UK terms. Okay, time to get this on my mannequin, which is only my size. So for better or worse, I need to stay the same body size. Well, that's going to be like 40 quid, I've never see again. You know, I think I might have been able to get away with making this in a smaller size. The pattern does have 5 sizes available to choose from. The neckline and shoulder placements is bugging me. But this project just left my migraine capabilities and will have to wait for a free non-migraine half day to finish it. I mean, obviously, I'm going to check the fit on myself before I finish it, and the end result and final pattern review will be finished off and will end this video. But the migraine portion has finished, and I'm glad that I've chose to do this because I am kind of in shock about how much I can get done in a migraine, and also slightly vindicated in saying that migraines just take too much of my goddamn time up. Alright, I'm going to have to shorten the sleeves. That's nothing to do with the pattern. If I'd measured my shoulders properly, I'd have made this part of the pattern in the smaller size. Okay, here it is all done. Oh, and I love it. Got to admit as well, telling the truth here, I wore this top for the rest of the day. My blocking needs a bit of work, hence the slight distortion on the buttons, but I think that should even out when I put it through its next wash. But this pattern was easy to follow, easy to do, had beautifully clear instructions. So if you like this top, you can go and get this pattern yourself and give it a go. So I'm going to put up the link to the Stylecraft website, links to places where you can purchase this pattern. Thanks for listening to me ramble on about my migraines, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.